Clear Pools, the home of the 10-week pool guarantee. We guarantee custom pool completion from permit to your first swim in 10 weeks or less. Water Clear Pools is the premier pool builder for the Margaritaville development on Highway 79. Free quotes and custom pools anywhere in Northwest Florida. Call now, 850-835-4177, or see our website, waterclearpool.com. Licensed and insured. License number CPC 1459723.
Introducing Southern Breeze Primary Care. With 45 years of experience, owners Holly Gay and Lisa King bring warm, friendly care, Southern charm, and a family vibe. They are the pros in youth sports, physicals, general health care, Bio-T hormone replacement therapy, certified DOT exams, and Coast Guard physicals. Southern Breeze, 107 West 19th Street, Suite B, 850-248-8002. Walk-ins are welcome and insurance is accepted but not required. Southern Breeze offers breezy solutions for your healthcare needs.
Looking for a new way to explore Bay County? Or maybe your trusty bike needs a tune-up? Head to Steve's Bike Shop. They've got a huge selection of new and used bicycles, plus the latest electric bikes to get you where you need to go fast. And if your bike is acting up, their expert technicians repair all makes and models, even electric bikes. Serving Bay County for 46 years. Steve's Bike Shop, 1924 West 23rd Street, right across from Sam's. Steve's Bike Shop. Your ride starts here.
Now in stock at Tommy Autos.
2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude. Luxury at a value price. $13,995, or a 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport with one owner. Sporty and affordable. $11,995 at Tommy Autos.
Buy here, pay here, financing options available. Everyone is approved. Tommy Autos, 2209 West 15th Street, Panama City. Call 850-960-8664. For the latest deals and specials, follow Tommy Autos on Facebook at
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios.
Are you ready? Okay, let's begin.
Trip. The Afternoon Underdog Trip. Live and local. Inside the Talk House.
Unleash the dragon.
On the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
What is up, Panama City? You're now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, tuned into ESPN Northwest Florida. Not this ain't Ohio State over this way, even though me and Ryan Mulvey on the inside drive today spent about 7 minutes trying to figure out what regional Ohio State was in men's golf. Just to find out that they were there last year. They're not playing this year. I'm David Hayes, along with our college football prognosticator, Tyler Bishop. Chef Ross Robinson back here. I think the plan is moving forward, at least until college football season starts. We're going to have Chef Ross, since he's off on Tuesdays, come in and hang out with us and take a little bit of the pressure off of Tyler Bishop, since we're in a time right now where the news isn't flowing as prevalently with college football as what they are with the NHL and MLB and all of that stuff. And really, on today's show, we're going to talk about a lot of the happenings, but mostly we're going to be playing a lot of games. I got Sports Jeopardy and some other games lined up for us this afternoon. And of course, Caveman Rick back there got the Brian Dawkins jersey on, and the Kelly Green. Doesn't get any better than that, except for when you match it up with their current, what is that, midnight green? What color green do they call that?
Yeah, midnight green.
Midnight green, yeah. I don't like those colors clash to me.
Yeah, they kind of do, but I just wanted to wear a different hat today.
Yeah.
They just had the schedule release kind of stuff going on, so I think, Eagles stuff's kind of fitting.
And I don't think that I've seen you wear that hat before.
I've had it,
Yeah.
I pull it out every once in a while.
It's got the good old, camouflage, not digital camouflage, but like a black, white, and gray type of camouflage, and then the midnight green Eagles logo. The Kelly Green jersey, Pop's Pig Pickin' Barbecue. That's what Chef Ross is wearing. Tyler's wearing a Georgia Bulldog shirt, and I just got a regular old polo on. And hey, we're representing this afternoon. Yeah, I got the Braves hat on, man. I definitely
it's a real polo too. It's not just a polo.
Yeah, it's
a legit polo.
Polo. Ralph Lauren put his stamp on this, which I still don't buy these things at full price, bro. I go to never that, bro. I ain't gonna pay over like daggum. It's hard for me to pay over $10 for a T-shirt unless I really want it. You know what I mean? Hats, I'll sometimes pay full price for those things, but no, I mean, when you got Ross, TJ Maxx, y'all should be advertising with us, but
GW Fashions.
GW Fashions.
Goodwill Industry.
Oh, yeah, facts. Absolutely. Got to go to Goodwill every now and again. Salvation Army as well. But yeah, I'm not paying full price for stuff. I don't care what y'all think I look like. I just want to look in the mirror and be like, okay, it's serviceable today. We're moving on. We're moving on. 850-215-6290 is the number to call or text today. Our call-in question of the day. This is a good one from Tyler Bishop. Rank the sports in order of coaching importance. Now, for our listeners, I really don't care how long you make your list. I put on Facebook 6 spots: high school football, college football, the NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB. Those are the 6 sports. I want you guys to rank the sports in order of coaching importance. Text in your ranks at 850-215-6290. Now, we'll give our answers to this at the top of hour number 2, kind of starting off with Tuesday's takes with Tyler, going up here on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. But the ones that we have to this point, we've got Christopher Multicante. He's got college football being number 1.
Thought he'd have Cam Ward being number 1.
Well, that goes without saying.
Okay.
That goes without saying. Another nice word there for the Hurricanes, Chris, if you're listening. College football, number 1. Then he goes into high school football, then the NFL, which I think that a lot of ours are going to align with that, being not saying that particular 1, 2, 3, but of the football coaches, I think that those are going to be some of the most hands-on.
Yeah, I think for me, and I'm looking at this question as more of like in-game coaching, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think it's hard not to have, in some order, the 3 football ones the top 3.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm not as big of an NFL, or NHL, MLB. I just can't see the strategy going in there the same way as you're seeing like offensive, defensive coordinators going at it.
Right, yeah. So, and we'll find out what our answers are. Top of hour number 2. But moving on here with Chris. 1, college football, high school football, number 2. Number 3 is the NFL. NBA comes in at 4. NHL 5. MLB in final at 6. He says youth sports, though, 15U would be at the very top. Youth sports across the board.
Yeah.
Not even close. That's what I was going to start, softball, all of that, and it was like that. I'm not gonna have people are just. I'm not gonna rank them. I'm just not gonna do it. But that's the thing when it comes to youth sports. They're not playing for Larry O'Brien trophies or for the World Series trophy or for the Vince Lombardi trophy. No, but
Participation trophies.
Well,
but also in game though, youth sports aren't as technical as. Like in-game, youth sports aren't as technical as the pro sports.
Okay, but here's the thing.
More is the practice time and teaching the right way and the fundamentals.
Right, and that's why it's much more important because hopefully.
You guys said in-game, I would put youth sports towards the back of the list and the in-game technical coaching that.
I think that also depends because when you say youth sports, you're talking about all the way from 4 years old, maybe younger than that, all the way up to, I guess we would stop it at the high school age, right? Even though that's still youth sports. You
aren't very technical in-game on the flag footballs. You're a lot more.
David's like, whoa.
I will say this: it depends on the team we're playing. In a blowout, no. I'm coaching the kids who need to be coached up. Be down. Hey, you're coaching a lot more of that. Everything brings us. It's a different situation. Now, to your point, yes, like when the more that you know about the sport as an athlete, from the athlete's perspective, the more that we can do with you. But there still is. I mean, because when kids don't know the fundamentals at the young age, then you're coaching fundamentals all game long. I mean, Nick Saban at the college football level, how often would they be up 21 points, 40-something points, and he's throwing his headset in disgust because some dude lined up 2 yards outside of where he should have lined up, So the fundamentals are always a part. So I see exactly, or not exactly, but I see where you're coming from. I think, dadgum, you go to like youth bobblehead football and soccer and stuff like that. The coaches are literally on the field, so it doesn't get much more in-game coaching than that right there. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say any names at all. But I was watching someone play soccer. I was watching their kid play soccer, and they were telling me that the previous week, the game, like the parents had got out got out there and like held hands with the kids and was like trying to stop the other team. Like the parents were like actively engaging in playing the game as well, like trying to stop the kids and stuff. It's like, oh my goodness, there's a line in the sand and it was drawn right there. Please do not cross over that. Bradley Kaiser, he's going to go with Church. Don't know necessarily.
Talking like church league softball or something?
I don't know if he means church league softball. Could he be talking about being a pastor? I mean, that is some coaching right there, right? I mean,
some serious
that is so serious. That is a life coach to the nth degree. So he goes church, junior high. He adds a couple there. So church, junior high, high school football, then college football, then MLB, NHL, and then finally the NFL. Sam Peebles, he's got high school football, then the NFL, then the NBA, then college football, then the NHL, and then MLB. And then when it comes to Ethan Hewitt, he's going high school football, NFL, then MLB, then college football, then NHL, then the NBA.
What church is that guy going to? Because I've never seen X's and O's in a church sermon.
Well, there may not be X's and O's, but again, like it goes back to coaching, you know. I mean, we're talking about we're trying to get sinners to the light, dadgummit. Come on, let me get an amen. Hey, you can get the new Pope with that Hail Mary right there.
Never broke down a cover 2 defense.
I guarantee you the Bears ain't going to be losing like they did to the Commanders next time they play them like that. Old Prevost will say no, or what is he going by? Leo. Yeah. Pope Leo won't be having any of that. We are live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. You guys can go to cbcconstruction.com or give them a call at 850-747-3815. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can like and share the Facebook feed and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also download the app and register. Quick hits from last night. Jason Tatum in that another atrocious Boston Celtics loss last night did end up tearing that right Achilles, and he has had surgery on that today. That just broke not too long ago, right before the show started. Successful surgery. So, I mean, I guess that I've been holding on to hope for the Celtics in this series. And crazy that you have to use the word hope, but after the 2-0 hole that they dug themselves into, doesn't look like they're going to be digging their way out of that. We could very well be seeing, depending on what happens tonight, a Knicks-Pacers Eastern Conference Final. Who in the world would have thought that coming into the season? Especially, I guess the addition of Karl Anthony Towns to New York maybe seemed a better landing spot than sending Julius Randle over there to Minnesota. Maybe it felt like New York was in a better spot. But, I mean, in the first series of the playoffs against the Pistons, it did not seem like they were going to make it out of the first round. But yet, here they are with a 3-1 lead looking to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Also, some of the biggest news out of Bay County. Bozeman Bucks baseball coach, former athletic director, I think this was his first year not being the athletic director, Jeff Patton has retired. That is sad news. Those are huge shoes to fill. And just a great guy who, anytime we asked him to do the show for us or whatever question I had about Bozeman, whatever, he was always accommodating, and he's a genuine human being. And I hate that for Bozeman that he's not going to be there anymore. But good luck to Coach Patton on his future endeavors, obviously, and then hopefully Bozeman can make a great pickup. They finished this last year with a 26-8 overall record. He reached the Class 2A region finals after a major upset that they had against Bishop Snyder in the semifinal round. After he took that program over in 2006, I mean, essentially building that, not essentially, literally building that program. They went 412 and 134 overall in his tenure there. 18 consecutive playoff appearances, 11 district championships, 6 Final Four appearances, and 2 state runner-up finishes. And over the last 10 years, they've only had 2 seasons where they did not get to 20-win seasons, and one of those was canceled due to 2020, due to the COVID season. Keeping it with baseball, maybe shocking to some people. I'm not one iota surprised about this. I think I'm more ticked than anything because I really wish that this would have happened while he was still alive. Pete Rose, Shoeless Jackson, and others are now off of the banned list for Major League Baseball. And I think it goes back to before this even, I believe before Pete Rose even died in 2025, Rob Manfred had said that, and I don't know, I can't confirm that he said this before he passed, but essentially, you know, when people are no longer with us, then they're eligible to be back for the game. It's like, dude, I feel like once you've paid a penalty for such a long time, and yet everyone that's involved with the game at all is everyone that's involved with the game is like, hey, he should, you know, he should be in the Hall of Fame, for crying out loud. I'm curious as to why it took so long, but here it doesn't matter now. Posthumously, he's he'll be in the Hall of Fame soon. Go ahead, Chet Frost.
First thing, the writers still have to vote him in, and I'm not too sure they will or won't.
Yeah, but eventually it's going to happen.
And not only that, he signed a lifetime ban. Shoeless Joe Jackson signed a lifetime ban.
Yeah, they're dead. They're not alive anymore.
Yeah.
So
lifetime's over.
Let him in now. And I've been saying all along that before we even have the Pete Rose conversation, we need to put Shoeless Joe in the Hall of Fame, because it was proven that Shoeless Joe had nothing to do with the Black Sox scandal of 1919. When it's proven that Pete Rose bet on baseball, bet on the Cincinnati Reds. Whether or not he bet them to win or lose is different. He bet on his team.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. There's the semantics that play such a huge role. And again, what it boils down to, wrong is wrong, right is right. I get all of that. It's just daggum. The Shoeless Joe Jackson, though, go ahead.
I was going to say, should we allow athletes to bet on their teams to win?
Caveman, what are your thoughts on this? You've been quiet back there.
I mean,
if they're betting on them to win, then like, what's there's no conflict of interest.
I would
there, right?
say athletes as a whole need to probably stay out of that realm, because of the fact that if you get into debt and you know, there's ways to get out of that without paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Monetarily, if you're an athlete. And so if you get into that situation with a bookie or some unscrupulous, dark kind of a person,
characters.
Yeah, then they're going to have you, probably do some stuff that you might not normally do to get out of the situation. And I just think it's a slippery slope, and I think it's just easy. Like, if you want to do that kind of stuff, you can do it plenty, like, after you retire. Plenty of money, plenty of time, a lot of insight. You'll probably do a lot better, too.
Or have someone play.
But I mean, like, if you're like, while you're playing, I think it's a sacrifice that you kind of have to deal with. At least betting on sports. I mean, go to Vegas, play cards, play the roulette wheel.
I mean, they could bet on sports, though. They could bet on sports. They just can't bet on their own sport, depending on the sport. I would still say they should stay away from that, because, okay, so say you bet on a sport, and say you're betting on horses, or you're betting on, baseball, but you're a football player and you lose your ass. Now they can say, well, hey, take a dive over here in your game to help scratch away what you owe me over here, so they can still be connected if you're in somebody's pocket. All right, why are all these?
Because of that, I think it'd be smart, if you're an athlete, to stay away. That way you can't be implemented or implicated in any wrongdoing or anything shady or any kind of wrongdoing. It's like how people like Derek Jeter, he made comments before, because of how famous he was. Certain people like that, they would be so careful, they wouldn't get into an elevator alone with somebody else, as long as they didn't have witnesses. That way somebody couldn't put them in a precarious spot and said they did A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. And I think if you're a high profile person, you just have to be more aware of things like that and what can happen. And it just comes with the territory, man. If you want to get paid a lot, you want to have all that notoriety, fame, what have you, you're going to have some sacrifices in some life too, man, that you're going to have to give up.
I think that's a great take. They are allowed to bet across the board, outside of not on their own sport or being in facilities. Also, that actually varies sport by sport. Like with the NFL, you just can't be betting on the sport of football, or really on the NFL. I don't know if they can bet on college football or not. That's actually kind of interesting right there. I haven't thought about that. But
you can't be in team facilities.
Facilities, right? That's where I was headed to. So, Major League I think that's the right way for them to do it.
If I was an athlete, I would not be betting on anything at a risk of breaking the rules. But
I guess one other point. So what? I guess my rebuttal. Hold on one second. One rebuttal I would say is, you would think, and this is where you're right, because there is the chance that the bet would be made through a bookie somewhere else and not through one of the apps that everyone is using today. And there's a chance that someone could come find you because you lost your tail on something. It's wild that it still happens like that here in 2025.
Well, there's some places like these apps won't take certain bets. And if you want to bet on something a certain way, you might have to find a under the table book. You know what I mean? So, and the kind of money that these guys want to wager too on things, I mean, I'm sure that they're using other forms than just like Hard Rock or, other like MGM, like sports, ESPN bet, stuff like that.
With what was his name? Mizuhara.
Yeah.
The Shohei scapegoat, essentially. He was using illegal. Ippei Mizuhara, he was using illegal.
Yeah.
He was using bookies. He
using bookies. It's harder to track if you're on an app.
Yeah, you're dead to rights.
Yeah.
That's how they had the college baseball scandal that we had with Alabama.
The only way you get caught with a bookie is the bookie gets caught and they get his books and they have all the numbers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how it's all right there, black and white.
Hey man, just watch a few episodes of The Sopranos, and you can see how all of that ending up. But yes, Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe removed from the ban list, and I think that we'll be seeing how many years? How many years do you think? Give me an over/under number here for
5.
You know what I would like to see? This is what I would like to see, man.
All right.
Just a big, more than just you can give. You don't give 2 middle fingers, right? But
depends. I've seen people with 6 fingers on their hands.
All these writers just giving MLB the middle finger, and unanimously the first time he's on the ballot, get him in unanimous.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that. It won't happen.
No, I know.
Because I agree with.
But that would be very powerful if that were to happen.
Yeah.
That would be a statement.
It would be awesome if it did happen like that. Go ahead.
Isn't the Hall of Fame separate from MLB? Like Pete Rose and
the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Written into the Hall of Fame or inducted into the Hall of Fame without being lifted from this ban because the Hall of Fame writers and stuff are all separate from Major League Baseball.
And now they've got all the different, there's a difference in getting into the Hall of Fame or the Eras Hall of Fame. They've got Hall of Fames for daggum everything. The Hall of Fame's seen by a board. Oh, no, that's just the Hall of Fame and Museum. So Jane Forbes Clark. Does Forbes got something to do with this? Does your net worth have something to do with getting damn Hall of? My goodness gracious. Well,
Kirk Cousins is in.
Kirk Cousins is in what?
The Hall of Fame. If net worth has something to do with it, he's made a crap ton of money.
I thought you said the one Kirk Cousins is in. I was like, what? What is he in? Like the not cussing Hall of Fame or something? My goodness. Braves ended up winning last night 4-3 in Game 1 of the 4-game set versus the Nationals. Big win for them last night. As again they're in dogfight night after night. Tonight they will be taking on the Nationals again. First pitch at 6:15, cover starting at 6 o'clock. Michael Soroka going to be going for the Nationals, former Atlanta Brave right there, 0-2 with the ERA of 7.20, going up against our guy Spencer Schwellenbach, who's 1-3 with the ERA of 3.61, and the whip is sitting at 1.12 along with 43 strikeouts. Big home run, too, for Marcell Ozuna. No one gave us any bets yesterday for Brian Haddad, Coach Haddad, to make over there in Las Vegas, so after the show, he asked what bet. I was like, well, no one gave us any, so take the Braves and Marcell Ozuna to hit a home run because it's been 10 to 15 games since Ozuna hit a home run, and he didn't get the bet in on time, but Ozuna did hit a home run.
I was trying to get him to get Giannis to San Antonio.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make bets like that.
Futures bets?
Futures bets when it's in Vegas.
He was probably wanting to cash out before he left town.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Coming up next, something that we've never done on the show, so bear with us. Be patient, please. We're going to play a little Sports Jeopardy. Keep it locked into ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
The Atlanta Braves are cooking.
Riley in, Olsen in. Here comes Fairchild. He's in as well. Tie game.
Tonight, the Braves return to Truist Park to face the Washington Nationals. Coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15. Listen in a rich audio experience on your spot for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Sunny the remainder of the day with a wind coming out of the west-southwest around 14 miles per hour and 78. Tonight, look for a gentle breeze and clear skies with a temperature near 72. Tomorrow, a high around 81 and mostly sunshine with a wind 8 to 12 miles per hour. Thursday, quite warm with a high of 82 and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
For the 2025 Atlanta Braves, it's time to dial in, which means every game means a little more.
First pitch, ground ball right side. Diving stop by Ozzie. Got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies.
Tonight, it's another big National League East battle in Atlanta as Austin Riley and the Braves square up against the Washington Nationals.
Braves coverage begins at 6 after the Afternoon Underdogs. First pitch, 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. Karen bought 83 liters of Dr. Thunder, a suitcase full of Cheez-Its, and a drum of Crisco. Now she's crying about using the self-check at Walmart.
Maybe we should speak to a manager or something.
Just saying. ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're back in the doghouse. This doghouse is built by CBC Construction. You can go to cbcconstruction.com. They are looking for a few good men. Fill out an application, drop your resume within that application, and then there you go. You can also give them a call at 850-747-3815 for all of your construction needs. I'm David Hayes along with Tyler Bishop, Chef Ross, and Caveman Rick. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. This is Braves Country. Braves start tonight. Coverage starting at 6 o'clock. First pitch, 6:15. Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida, brought to you locally by Best Way Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, and Brock Pest Control. Want to remind you guys, we've got some great softball going on in our area. 2 games here locally, one a little west to us in Niceville, and then a game in Liberty County as well. Arnold is 18-8. They're hosting Baker County tonight. First pitch at 6 p.m. over there at Arnold. Then Bozeman is 14-10. They travel to North Bay Haven, who is 22-3. And first pitch will get underway tonight at 7 p.m. Niceville hosting Childs at 6 p.m. Liberty County hosting Franklin County at 7 p.m. 850-215-6290. Looking for our call-in question of the day. Some responses there, and we'll read those off live here on the air. Rank the sports in order of coaching. The sports available: high school football, college football, the NFL, MLB, NBA, and the NHL. Text those answers in to us at 850-215-6290. You can also call us anytime throughout the show and talk about whatever it is that you want. Bone Crusher is chiming in on Facebook. He says, is it too early to bet on the Manny Pacquiao fight? We were just talking about futures for Giannis Antetokounmpo to go to the Spurs, I believe you said? Yeah, but it is never too early these days. I don't know if Hard Rock has the odds for this yet, and I don't know where these odds are coming from, but they are odds nonetheless. He's going to be fighting Mario Barrios on July 19th for the WBC welterweight title in Las Vegas. Pacquiao right now is the underdog, and the odds are ranging from plus 340 to plus 470. And Barrios his odds are sitting around minus 500 to minus 750. Caveman Rick, you've probably watched more boxing. Between you and Chef Ross, I would say y'all have watched the most boxing out of us here in the room. How do you feel about Pacquiao's chance? It's been, almost a decade since he's fought?
I don't think it's been that long. I want to say maybe like 7 years, something like that.
Okay.
But, I mean, yeah, he's been out for a while, gotten into politics. Kind of interesting to see how he's going to do. I mean, he's had a long time to rest up. A lot of time he can work out.
Oh, it's 2021. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, so 21?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it hasn't been that long. Okay. But I'm kind of curious to see, it's going to be tough to see what he's got, though, because I haven't seen any tape on him. I haven't seen what he's been up to in the last handful of years. So those numbers could be very well inflated, or they could be pretty much right on the money, and he could be that much of an underdog.
Yeah,
I would think, with the skill and the prowess that he's had in the ring in the past, I could see him having a chance. I just quickness is something that'll leave the body a lot, sooner than power as people age.
Yeah.
He wasn't a very powerful fighter, strong guys like a Mike Tyson or something like that. So because of that, I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to be able to hold up. So I would think more than likely, I hate to say it, he probably end up losing.
Would you, well, with that answer, I guess I can't really ask you this question, but the question was going to be, would you rather bet on Manny Pacquiao to win, bet on Barrios to win, or just not bet on the fight at all? With Barrios being a minus 500 to
probably
700.
Not at all, because the only way to win money on that, if you thought that, you'd have to throw down some large coin in order to make something worthwhile off of it.
Then if you lose that, it's my goodness.
To answer the question, you can bet on it if you. I can bet on it right now if we wanted to. You got to know where to look.
Oh, you got the Bovada.
I got minus 700 for Barrios and plus 439 for Pacquiao.
Okay. Okay. I like plus 439.
Do you have a round in there? Where
that's just money line for right now. They don't have anything.
I'd be curious to see what it would be like to go the 10 rounds or whatever and to go to decision to the cards.
Yeah.
That's probably, if I was going to put money on the fight, I might go that route and not take a knockout or a TKO, but just go into the scorecards at the end of the fight and lasting the distance.
Chef Ross, any thoughts?
Yeah. With throughout all sports, Father Time is undefeated. So Manny Pacquiao is on the wrong end of the age scale, hasn't fought for a few years. Even when he was fighting towards the end of that, there's a reason that Mayweather was ducking Pacquiao early to mid in his career and waited till late in his career to fight him. So I definitely don't think Pacquiao would win this. He may go the distance. I don't know anything about this other fighter either.
Yeah, well, there you go. 850-215-6290. You can let us hear your thoughts on all of that. Until then, we're going to play a little sports Jeopardy. Now, I was going to try to get some sound effects in there and all of that stuff, but just didn't have time, so we're just going to fake it till we make it. But we're going to play sports Jeopardy. It's going to be rather easy, and then, maybe the next time we'll come up with some critiques to make the game a little bit better, and we'll just play this until hour number 2. Our categories are NFL nonsense, college football chaos, hoops history, ridiculous records, name that athlete, and quotes and trash talk. And now I'm going to pass it over to your hostess with the mostest. It's Caveman Drubeck. Not Trubeck, Drubeck.
Yeah, why we go with Drubeck? I was kind of wondering.
Just because I didn't want to use Alex Trebek's last name, so I just exactly.
Oh, okay.
So Caveman Drubeck. It just sounds gangsta, bro.
Okay, that's cool. I just thought maybe you just didn't know how to spell his last name or something.
Or he's drubbing people.
Hey, do you want to know the honest truth? I spelled his last name wrong, but we're gonna make it look like we're gonna make it look like. As soon as when I read it back earlier, after I was going through the sheet, making sure it looked right and everything, I was like, what was I thinking? It was Drabek, and Trebek is what, T-R-E?
Yeah. Or T-R-E? No, it might be T-R-E, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, moving on, not acknowledging any of my mistakes that I've made, any of my typos here. No one needed to know that, Caveman Rick. I told on myself, though. All right, go ahead and host us away from here, sir.
All right, so who's going to start? Which one of you three is going to...
yeah. What we do got to figure out is, what is our buzzer going to be? Are we just going to say our name, so then that way... Well, that's going to be... wrong or right or whatever. But I'm saying, so in Jeopardy, don't you have to?
You have to like click the buzzer and then it lights up the thing on the podium. We don't have that.
So we just, what do we just say our name?
I guess.
And then you have to, then you call on us.
Or one of you just say something like, I don't know, like have a, I don't know, what's like.
I think it'd best be with name.
Same thing. Or
yeah,
name.
Let's go name, and then the first name that you hear, and you can be 100% biased towards me. That's fine. No, but whatever name you hear first, then you call on us, and we'll go like that. And I'll say Chef Ross. We'll go with age before beauty here. Chef Ross, you lead us off here. Pick the category and move on, and I'll try to keep score over here.
Let's do quotes and trash talk for 200.
All right, quotes and trash talk for 200. Your clue is, quote, can't wait, quote.
Ross.
All right, Ross, what you got for an answer?
Well, do you buzz in whenever when you're the one asking the question?
Yeah, everybody.
All three of us buzz in.
Yeah, all three of you can.
Gotcha. It's been a while since since Trebek left. I haven't been watching a lot of Jeopardy lately.
Who is Bart Scott?
That's.
Yeah, check that answer key. Do.
Yes,
Okay. Oh, that's what we're going for the right answer.
There you go, right answer.
All right, so 200 for Ross.
All right,
Ross, keep it rolling.
Ridiculous records for 200.
All right, let's see. Clue is the most three-pointers made in a single NBA game is held by this player.
David.
All right, David, go ahead.
Oh, man. I'm second guessing right here, but I'm going to say, who is Steph Curry?
I need to get my answers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hold on here. Where's my answer?
Do. They should be in numerical order. Do. Oh, wrong.
Oh, that was my guess.
Okay. Then you can't answer, so I'm
Somebody
minus
else,
200
anybody else
right now.
gonna try?
I'll say Reggie Miller. No.
All right. The correct answer is
Klay Thompson.
Oh,
that was actually my second guess, and my instinct to go with, but I went Steph Curry there instead of Klay Thompson. I think he broke that record. It couldn't have been last year. He was too injured.
Since nobody got that, Ross, pick again.
Yeah, and I'm minus 200.
Let's do college football for 400.
All right, college football chaos. The clue is this SEC school is known for the, quote, 12th man tradition.
Ross,
go ahead.
What is Texas A&M?
200 one. No, that was 4.
four.
Oh, did you say?
What is Texas A&M, sir?
All right, that's correct. Next question, Ross.
Quotes and trash talk for 500, please.
Quotes and trash talk. Is it 500?
Yes, please.
500. He's just trying to knock off all the big money ones, man.
Where is the quotes one? Hold on.
Oh, I don't know this. It's you know what I should have done, Caveman Rick? I should not have front and back printed those for you so you didn't have to get. It's only 2 pages though, bro.
Oh, right here, I got it. Okay,
yeah,
500.
It's the final one.
Quote, I took that personally. Quote.
Tyler. It was Jordan, right? Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it from the last name?
Yeah.
All right, so 500 points for Tyler, and Tyler gets to pick next question.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. We'll do college football chaos for 2.
College football
All right, clue
chaos.
is he coached LSU, Ole Miss, and USC.
Ross.
David.
Ross, what you got?
Who is Ed Orgeron?
That is correct.
Oh, Eddie-O, baby.
When did he coach USC?
He was the interim head coach after
Kiffin got
Oh, that's right. I forgot about all of that worked
Your
out.
turn, Ross. Pick
All right, so how much was that right there? 200?
2.
Yep.
Let's do NFL for 300.
300.
It's on the very front page.
He once threw 30 TDs and 30 interceptions in the same season. David.
Who is Jameis Winston?
That is
I'm on the board.
correct, sir.
Got 100 points.
All right. Got 100 points. Let's go to quotes and trash talk for 300, sir.
Quotes and trash talk for 300.
Final page
is going to be, you like that. after a comeback win?
Ross.
David.
Ross.
Who is Kirk Cousins?
All right, that should have been pretty an easy one. Right?
Yeah, all of these are kind of easy.
These are pretty
All
easy.
right, what you got, Ross? Pick next one.
I've missed a couple though, or one.
We got to name that athlete?
Name that athlete.
Let's do name that athlete for 400.
For 400, the clue is she dominated women's soccer and famously celebrated by pulling off her shirt in 1999. David.
Who is Mia Hamm?
That is...
I don't know. We just said
right team, wrong athlete.
If it's not her, then I'm glad I didn't answer.
Which one was
If I'm
that?
being honest, the only woman soccer player.
Name that athlete for 400.
I'm trying to find the list on here. I'm sorry, man.
You're
it's all
good.
over the place.
I wish it was Mia Hamm.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck is her name? I know her.
Some back to negative. Woohoo!
All right, anybody else going to try this one?
Yeah, Ross, just take a stab at it, bro.
You lose points if you get it wrong.
I know. That's the... Hello.
I cannot think of her name, and I'm going to kick myself when you say it.
So you're going to take a guess? Okay.
No, because Mia Hamm's the only person I can name off that team. But she's
also
number 12.
commentates. Brandy Chastain.
That's right.
Well, we'll give the host 400 points
All
for
right,
that one.
So
Amen,
pick the question again.
Oh, that's wait, no, that's still Ross.
Yeah, name that athlete for 300, please.
300 would be...
I don't know this one.
All right.
This is a tough one.
The athlete won Olympic gold, but before becoming an NFL wide receiver.
Apparently I'm picking all the hard ones.
There it is. I'm too far in the red to make this happen.
A little older,
I feel like if you ask the question, you have to, or if you pick the category, you gotta say something here. My goodness.
So nobody's going to answer that one.
So,
all right.
Yeah. So we go minus 300 for Ross, right?
No, nobody gets that one. So Marquise Goodwin.
Really? I would have not. No. We need more of those name that athletes because that's where the tough ones are coming. All right. Ross again.
In spirit of today, name that athlete for 500.
All right. He was banned from baseball, but still had the most hits in MLB history. Ross.
Who is Pete Rose?
That shouldn't have been a 500 question.
Yeah, I know that. But I didn't make the question.
That should have been like a 100 question. I was like,
this game's over with. I'm done.
All right, pick again.
All right, let's do hoops history for 300, please.
All right, first one, hoops history, 300. He was the number 1 overall pick in the 2003 NBA draft.
Tyler. LeBron, right?
That
Who is
would
LeBron?
be LeBron James, correct.
Let's go. NBA draft history, my forte.
Yeah, right. Didn't know he was an NBA prognosticator either, y'all.
I've been.
Or that would be a precostinator, I guess.
Which question you want now, Tyler?
Tyler's just a draft expert in every sport.
Man, just because I'm curious into the answer, hoops history for 4. I don't know.
All right, so this team drafted Kobe Bryant before trading him to the Lakers. David.
Who is the Charlotte Hornets?
Is correct, sir.
Okay. I had no idea. That's why I was getting. I
was thinking it was the Bobcats then.
No, they were the. Oh. Does it say Hornets or Bobcats? Same franchise.
It
I'm
says
keeping
Hornets.
the points. I'm keeping
You're keeping the points, but I was
same
thinking.
franchise. Well, because I don't know. We'll have to look that one up. Let's go with college football chaos for. Let's just keep it rolling here. 100.
This school's mascot is a duck that wears a varsity jacket. David.
I know the answer. I'm trying to say, do I say who is or what is? Who is Oregon?
Does he really wear a letterman jacket?
Yeah, he does. Sometimes, not when he's doing push-ups, though. Plus 100. We'll keep it rolling here, and we're going to go with ridiculous records for 500.
All right. This NFL kicker holds the record for most career points scored.
Tyler. Who is Adam Vinatieri?
That is.
That was my guess, too, and I was like, oh.
All right.
I mean, just based on the longevity of his career, it kind of made sense.
All right, your turn, Tyler.
Oh, let's just, we'll do ridiculous records for 400.
This tennis player holds the record for most career Grand Slam titles. This is the men.
Ross. Who is Pete Sampras?
That was my guess, so. Let me get that bonus. Yes! I don't normally root on the. All right, so I'm just going to do it here, and I might be so wrong. But I don't care. Who is Andre Agassi?
Oh, that was my second guess.
That was my guess. I don't even know if I can name another tennis player at that point. So.
All right, so I'll give you the answer. It's Novak Djokovic.
He just got it this year.
Stupid game.
All right, pick the next question again, Dave.
Let's go with hoops history for 100.
All right. The beard refers to this current NBA star.
David.
Ross.
Oh, wow, my mind just went blank.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Who is James Harden?
Well, I don't know if the timer went out then. I was like hitting the timer.
I think he got it before you hit the X. All right, on to you. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break, Caveman Rick. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to keep playing a little Sports Jeopardy here until 5 o'clock, and then we'll dive in some more college football, some more fun games, and we're just going to jump all over the place here this afternoon because it's the off season. And if you guys want to talk sports, call in, text in 850-215-6290. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We are the Afternoon Underdogs.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Sunny the remainder of the day with a wind coming out of the west-southwest around 14 miles per hour and 78. Tonight, look for a gentle breeze and clear skies with a temperature near 72. Tomorrow, a high around 81 and mostly sunshine with a wind 8 to 12 miles per hour. Thursday, quite warm with a high of 82 and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Get ready for your next adventure and discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia today. Check out the 2025 SUV family. The road is yours. Take a test drive and see the all-new features that elevate any adventure. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage or a 2025 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind that you can trust. Bill Bird Kia is the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. See us today.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage and a 2025 Sorento with $1,748 per month for 1,000 financed in 60 months. Quality limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 6/2/25.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. Pound the like and crush the subscribe. Follow us on social media for the latest sports news, scores, and updates. Keeping you in the game. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're in the Doghouse, and this Doghouse brought to you by CBC Construction. You can go to cbcconstruction.com for more information. You can also fill out an application if you're looking for a job. You can also call them at 850-747-3815. The 4th annual Pops Pig Pickin' Barbecue. All proceeds will be going to benefit hurricane relief efforts. There are brought to you by Chef Ross. He travels around or finds a place, finds a spot, and goes help out victims from hurricanes. Last year it was after Hurricane Helene, and you went up to Valdosta, Georgia. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. for the 4th annual Pop's Pig Pick and Barbecue. Dinner tickets are just $20. You're going to get barbecue, mac and cheese, baked beans, possibly. Yesterday we were talking about this after the show. What are you looking for in order to be able to make those baked beans extra delicious?
I'm looking for some extra smoked pork, because the only pork I'll have is what's on the pig that I'm cooking, so therefore I couldn't do the beans in advance.
So my challenge to you guys, I need one person to come up with $30. $30. If you can, you could bring it to us up here or write a check out before June 10th. June 10th, someone $30, and that will help Chef Ross get a Boston butt, smoke that specifically for the baked beans, and that way you get some good meat into some good flavor into the baked beans, and he doesn't have to take away from his whole hog that he's going to be cooking up that afternoon. Also, tell us a little bit about the pool tournament, Chef Ross.
So I'm going to be running a spots pool tournament, which will help anybody that's a lower ranking player or just wants to play for fun. Basically, it allows more chances to beat the higher ranking players that are playing, and it gives them a disadvantage. So that way we can have some fun. I'm going to have the pool tournament start at 1 o'clock and run till it ends. First place is going to get part of the $15 entry fee as the prize, whatever we get up with that. And then the second place is going to get a T-shirt, either the Pop's Pig Pick and Barbecue T-shirt or some break room T-shirts or
ESPN Northwest
Florida Inside Drive, something else that can be donated.
Yeah, we'll make that happen for sure. Really excited for it, though. June 14th, in honor of Ron Pops Robinson, which is Chef Ross's dad, and just a great human being. Every time, Chef Ross, when I first met you, your dad wasn't with you. The next time that you came, though, your dad was with you, and he would just sit on that couch, and in between every break, he'd respond to everything we talked about and said, "Oh, you should have said this, or you should have said that," and just a great, caring heart too.
We got him in the air once, didn't we?
Oh yeah. We got him on the air, maybe a time or two, but most of the times he would just sit in there and then cut up with us afterwards, and it was just, it was a blast. He was a great man. I know Old School was especially fond of him as well, and he made some really good apple pie.
Yes, he did.
He made some real good apple pie. We left off with Sports Jeopardy. We don't have a ton of time left. Chef Ross and Tyler are battling it out. I am falling far behind. In fact, I don't even have a point yet, as I'm at minus 200, so I need to get something so I can play Final Jeopardy to try to keep up with you guys. Chef Ross at plus 1,300, Tyler Bishop at 1,100. We left off with Chef Ross. It's your turn to pick the category.
Let's go with NFL nonsense for 400, please.
For 400, we got the NFL team with the longest current Super Bowl drought.
Ross. Who are the Detroit Lions?
Let's see. This is where I'm... done. Yes. All right, David.
Go ahead, Dave.
We're going to go with who are the Cleveland Browns. There's no point in playing anymore. Minus 500, baby.
It's not the Bears or it's not the Browns or the Lions. Well, the Browns make sense because they came back in the 99. We're sure it's not Detroit.
The Detroit Lions have never played in a Super Bowl, sir.
I got the answers right here, man. So I know what you're talking about, man. You gonna bribe me some points?
There's no bigger drought than all of them.
We've got the $30 covered. I don't know if he wants me to say his name or not.
That haven't made a Super Bowl yet.
Yeah.
But not all of them have been in the league since as long as the Lions, and have been around for all of the Super Bowls.
Correct answer is the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Hold on. They've been in 2 Super Bowls.
Hey, who's running this show here?
They played with Kurt Warner against the Steelers.
But I don't know. This isn't saying
the longest
appearance.
Super Bowl?
It's saying Super
Bowl winning drought. Super Bowl winning drought.
Yeah, it's on the technicality.
It's arguable.
It's whatever.
It depends because Cleveland has it, Detroit hasn't, the Cardinals have it, the Vikings haven't. There's a laundry list of teams that haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
they've been around for quite a while. You know.
I'm cool with it.
I didn't make the list. I didn't make
Tyler's of course cool with it because he just took the lead. Chef Ross, your turn again.
Oh, that's
that's crapola. I can't believe that.
Give me quotes.
Oh, that was actually only 400.
For 100.
All right. Ridiculous. Shoot, where's the quotes at here?
I think that's on one of the
Got
pages.
it right here. All right. Quote, we're talking about playoffs. Quote.
David,
go ahead.
who is Jim Mora?
Ooh, should we give that to him, judges?
Yeah,
no, that's correct. No, my bad.
Yeah, because it's not Jim Moore Jr. That was Falcons. It was Jim Moore. All right, so that's 100.
Yeah, my bad. I was thinking of
Woo, baby! Woo! I'm getting closer to even. Let's go with NFL nonsense for 500, sir.
All right. The clue is this player once, quote, retired during halftime of a game.
Ross.
All right, go ahead, Ross.
Who is Antonio Brown?
It's wrong.
He quit during the game.
He quit.
Yep.
David.
Go ahead, David.
Who is Vontae Davis, which sadly just passed away not too long.
My bad.
Whoa. No. Don't you do that to me. That's a no-no. So that is minus 500 for Ross, and then plus 500
Look at that, Big Dave.
for me. Hey, here we come. Here we go. You should have let me back in here. Let's go. Quotes and trash talk. What we've done. We've done 100. We've done 200.
I think four is
the only one that...
Well, all right then. Let's go. Quotes and trash talk for 400, Caveman Rick.
All right, quote, straight cash, homie, quote.
Tyler.
David.
Tyler.
Randy, right?
That's it.
Randy.
Randy.
You gotta say right. And first off, he didn't say who is.
He has it all day.
Then he said right. Like no.
Yeah, I will challenge that. The answer is not Randy Wright. He was a quarterback for the Packers in the 80s.
All right, keep it rolling here, Tyler.
Oh, let's go college football cast for 500.
College football chaos 500. That's on the back of page
no,
one.
I'm looking here. He won a Heisman and then played minor league baseball and pro football.
Ross.
Who
is Bo Jackson?
The minor league is what kind of threw me. I was like, I guess he would have probably technically played minor league.
But then he also played pro baseball, for
Kansas City.
Kansas City Royals. Yeah,
He climbed the wall.
absolutely. All right, what do you got, Ross?
Give me hoops for 5.
All right, hoops for 5. The clue is this player scored 81 points in a game in 2006.
David.
Ross.
David.
Who is Kobe Bryant?
This wasn't Tyler.
Yeah, right. It's like, we don't really care if you score points right now, David. We don't. All right, let's go with ridiculous records, and we'll keep it simple for 100.
All right, the MLB player with the most career home runs.
Ross.
David.
Ross.
Who is Barry Bonds?
Oh, shit, my bad.
All right, the true answer is who's right. Who is Henry Aaron?
Who is Hank Aaron? All right, what's next?
College football chaos for 300, please.
This school claimed the national title in 2017 despite not making the playoffs. David.
Who is University of Central Florida? Thank you. I'll be here all week.
I'm saying correct at UCF.
Let's go with hoops history for 200.
He coached the Bulls to 6 NBA titles in the 90s.
Ross.
Dave, I almost forgot my name.
Ross.
Who is Phil Jackson?
All right, it's one more question, and then we're going to play Final Jeopardy.
All right, let's do ridiculous records for 300.
This quarterback holds the single season touchdown passing record.
David. Who is Tom Brady?
Ross. Who is Peyton Manning?
Oh, no. Did he get that on the year with the Broncos?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I could have swore it was either, for me, it came down to Drew Brees or Tom Brady. But, so Peyton Manning the year with the Broncos, was his first year or second year with them?
First, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, because the second
year he had the neck injury.
He had the neck injury prior. He had the neck injury prior.
The neck was in Indy.
Yeah, was in Indianapolis. All right, let's do Final Jeopardy. What is that, 300 right there?
Yeah.
So you got the amounts on how everybody's got. So I'm going to take a bet.
All right, well, I probably have nothing over here. Tyler's at 1,600. because he barely answered any daggone questions, but he's at 1,600. Chef Ross was at 1,300. Then he goes minus 1,400, that's 900. Then minus 500, that's 400. Then plus 500, that's back to 900. Plus 100, that's 1,000, 1,200. Chef Ross is at plus 1,500. And then I am sitting at, oh my goodness, minus 600, minus 500, even, 500, 800, I'm at 500. So I'm betting 500, absolutely, wagering it all.
I mean, mine. All
right, we're all wagered it all, baby. We're all wagered it all.
All right, so we're going to go for the last question now before we go to break?
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question is, this school was the first to win a BCS national championship in the 2000s.
You got to write it on the paper. And
is it the 2000 season, or is it the championship that was played, the first one played
This
in the 2000s?
is the 2000s. So this is, listen to the question. This school was the first to win a BCS national championship in the 2000s.
Yeah, I'm saying
2000.
Okay, but I'm saying the 1999 season, the BCS championship was technically played January of 2000. Is that the one we're talking? Or are we talking?
They're saying since 2000. So since the start of 2000.
Here's what we'll do. We'll answer it, and then when we get back, we'll look at who won in 99, which we know who won in 99, right? Yeah. And then who won in 2000.
If we're talking the 2000 season, that's fine. I just want to make sure I'm answering the right question, because I know which one it is either way. It's more of...
Yeah.
I'm just going by the way.
The first one to win in the year 2000, the year of our Lord 2000, right?
Yeah, that's what it's in 2000s. Yes,
yeah,
in the 2000s.
But it had to be a BCS because BCS didn't start until 2000, right? Or did it start in 90?
Start in 99.
You might have to think about that.
98?
Well, 98 season, but 90.
All right. Well, my answer is written down.
We'll do this when we come back from the break, or what?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, and for the first time in Afternoon Underdog history, I'm going out to Jeopardy music. We'll be back. Keep it locked into ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
It's all a bunch of crap, man. I mean, NCAA is a bunch of crap.
But different lines says one of them unbelievable, amazing, incredible, legendary. Then ... how much time it got?
And you got Wildcat flipping on the bird, and then that number one.
You don't know what I put up with this, man.
Weekday morning 7 to 9, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For tonight, clear skies and a low of 72 with a light breeze around 7 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest. Tomorrow morning, mostly sunshine with temps around 80. In the afternoon and evening, partly sunny with a moderate breeze and a temperature near 81. Moving into Thursday, the same with a high of 81 and sunny. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money somewhere else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable buildings. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
Hi folks, it's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, she has over 20 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within a week, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into a new setting and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 50 years.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. They're number one in the men's room.
I hope this place comes with toilet paper.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Oh, geez, this is going to be a photo finish.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3. in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes along with Tyler Bishop, Caveman Rick, and Chef Ross Robinson. We are your home for the Atlanta Braves tonight. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock for a first pitch time of 6:15, and it should be a good one. Spencer Schwellenbach going for the Braves, and on the mound for the Nationals is actually going to be Mike Soroka. So should be a heck of a game. Oh, well, man, we're just diving right back into it. Caveman's like, dude, can you just stop talking? Let's play Jeopardy. I love being Caveman Trebek. So we've been playing Jeopardy. We left off here. We've got Chef Ross is at, plus 1,500. Tyler Bishop at plus 1,600. And I'm sitting at 500. Our final Jeopardy question of the day before we dive into some other subjects is, what's the question, Caveman?
This school was the first to win a BCS national championship in the 2000s.
And so what we're doing is the season starting in 2000. So this
2000 season.
BCS national championship, which would have actually happened in 2001, is the direction that we're going. We've all kind of went with that. Let's start with our leader, Tyler Bishop. What is your answer? What did you write down?
Oklahoma and the Boomer Sooners.
Oklahoma and the Boomer Sooners is... Chef Ross?
What did he wager?
1,600.
So all of it. So y'all are done. He won.
Yeah.
He's supposed to go last. You kind of built the suspense up because you guys.
Well, we already knew
it was off.
The suspense was not building in here. It was anger throughout the entire break. I can't believe you, Tyler. How are you going to make me look so bad here on the Afternoon Underdogs?
What kind of answers do you guys have?
Yeah. So Chef Ross went with Miami, and I had Oklahoma as well.
Okay,
so I'm at
would have doubled up.
So 3,200 for Tyler, 1,000 for me, and Chef Ross, who was our most successful player of the round, finishes up at 0. We're going to have to do that again and get some tougher questions, maybe throw some pop culture
Randy
subjects
can just
in
check
there.
out the cash for 32.
Yeah, or have an option before you get into Final Jeopardy, like on the Hard Rock Bet at, you can cash out early.
Yeah, there you go.
I should have cashed out early.
Yeah, you cashed out. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to cash out early for less than what you paid and miss out on $252. I also know how to say, oh, I'm not going to cash out and I'm going to let it ride, and then, they should have cashed out and would have times my money by 11 right there. It's a $5 bet to cash out at 55 or try to win 150. But that is neither here nor there. Diving into our number 2 here. The number 2 call today is 850-215-6290. You can call or text. The call-in question of the day is rank the sports in order of coaching importance. Tyler Bishop brought that question to the table. So, Tyler, what made you think of this question, and then how does your list rank?
I actually just saw it on the Georgia football message board I was on. It was just kind of one of those things, like they were talking about kind of just guys talking, and I was like, they would probably like that question. So I sent it over, and I was like, hey, we'll talk about it.
I increasingly try to, come up with stuff that I think people will engage with, and this show is all about the listeners. There's no doubt about that. We try to make it that way. It's and that's what's fun for me, is trying to see what sticks and what doesn't. And we got a text there from Daniel saying we should do that more often. Very cool. And one of my favorite things, though, is this call-in question of the day. I really thought yesterday's was the Mount Rushmore of Bay County athletes here from Panama City high schools, and I thought that one was gonna just get a ton of response. It didn't. That's the Murphy's Law, right?
All I know is Will Witherspoon's got to be on there.
Will Witherspoon, he was not on. I did 3 different lists. I did a statistical list, and I can't believe I left Will off, but there was just so many, and I had to get Jay Chapman in there some way or the other. So when it comes to ranking the sports in order of importance, when it comes to coaching on the field, as Chef Ross was pointing out earlier, and Tyler, that's one of your variables, I guess, of how this conversation goes. Who wants to start? You want to start it off since you led us off with this question, or I can go first?
Go for it.
All right. I'm going to start it off with high school football again. It comes down to the fundamentals. Coaching, the most important thing is the fundamentals. Outside of that, once the guys know what it is that you're trying to attack, how you're trying to attack, and the game plan and all of that good stuff, the fundamentals is the most important. So high school football has got to be that, because you've got guys who's never played football before showing up in spring practice, and you've got to show them the ropes. And, it's a lot more, I would imagine, hands-on. Like when you get to college, you're dealing with your position coach. I'm sure you're dealing with your position coach in high school football as well, but I think that the head coach is a lot more hands-on than when you get to that college level and the coach is just up there in the tower and just watching what his position coaches are breaking down. Number 2, I would go with college football. All of the hats that you have to wear as a college football coach would make it more rank higher than high school football in importance of coaching, but we're not talking about the off-the-field stuff. We're not talking about the recruiting. We're talking about on-field, but you have more attitudes, more egos to deal with. Yes, you have the NFL egos, but those guys earned the right to that ego, right? And when in college football, you've got big fish from little ponds who have to get humbled at some point. So I think that's why I have college football. That's why I have college football number 2. Number 3, the NFL. Why? Because in the other sports, you're not calling a play every single possession, right? Like with every look, everything changes. And so, the NFL head coach, that's very important, that he's listening to what the offensive coordinator relays down or what the defensive coordinator. So at number 3, I would have the NFL. Coming in at number 4, I would go the NHL, because your matchups are so important. And so if you're the head coach, you've got line changes that get to go out secondarily, goes after the away team. And so, and then when do you pull your goalie? I just think that there's more that an NHL coach has to do. And then at 5, I would have the NBA, because you have less players to deal with. And you're talking about guys who are really good at what they do. There's been multiple stories of Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches of all time in the association, just calling the timeout and not saying nothing, telling the guys, what you got to do. And so I think that probably happens a lot of the times in the NBA. And then number 6, MLB, they're not even coaches, they're daggone managers. They, make sure everything's good. And then as long as you're not doing anything nefarious, you probably won't get a call to the coach's office or to the manager's office. So I would say that of the least importance for me, it would be Major League Baseball. Tyler?
So actually my bottom 3 are the same. Like I said, I was focused more on the in-game coaching, the strategy of it. NHL, I don't know a ton about NHL, but I don't think there's a ton of strategy really going on in the MLB or the NBA. I mean, I know you can try to, in the NBA, you want to try to set up a pick and roll, or you want to try to get the matchup you want to at times.
And the Cavs, not in the game that they won, they ended up running a zone instead of playing man-to-man, and that,
there's some of those changes they made, which is why I had it above MLB. I feel like MLB is just a lot like one-on-one me versus the pitcher, and can I make that play? It's not. So as far as the actual in-game coach, I went NFL number 1 just because everybody's professional. So it really does come down to do you have a guy like a Sean McVay that is considered an elite play caller? Shanahan. We saw what Shanahan was able to do in the 90s. Mike Shanahan with the running backs in Denver. He was able to scheme up 1,000-yard rushers year after year after year, no matter the running back they had back there. I had college football next just because, again, everybody's got talent. Obviously, there's teams that are a lot more talented. We saw some teams that carried coaches to titles, like 2019 LSU, 2001 Miami, some teams like that. And then I went high school because I feel like in the high school game, if you do get one of those freak guys, how good do you think Derrick Henry's high school coach was? I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but even I could have been hey, we're just going to hand the ball to Derrick Henry 40 times a game and see what he can do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, have you ever heard that story about Nick Saban talking about Derrick Henry? I think he was on the podcast with, I want to say he was on the Pivot with Ryan Clark and them. Not entirely sure there, but that's a great story.
And kind of to the point that Ross was making, I think as you go up levels, the scheming and everything becomes so much more tedious, and you're going against just better coaching the higher you go. Not trying to dog high school coaches by any means. I'm not saying there's not high school coaches better in college or even NFL coaches, but I think just as a whole, the skill and the resources that go into game planning, everything increase, and so that's why I got high school football third, and then NHL, NBA, and MLB.
Yeah, there you go, Chef Ross. On to you.
I'm pretty much the same as Tyler, except I've got MLB ahead of the NBA. The NBA is more of a players' league than a coaches' league. LeBron goes from Cleveland to Miami. Miami's in the championship. Cleveland's in the lottery, top pick. Jordan leaves, and the Bulls suck. So it's more of a players' league than a coaches' league.
Right.
MLB, there's a lot of in-game strategies, especially with the pitching coach talking with their pitchers. That happens. And, again, if high school is definitely very important for fundamentals and development, but not so much X's and O's. It's another sport where the Jimmys and Joes matter more than the X's and O's.
Yeah.
And then NHL, I really don't understand a whole lot. There's probably a lot of technical things, working with the goalie, working with your line changes, all this stuff. But I just feel like that's more of let it ride type situation, let your players play. So that's why I've got them ranked a little bit lower. And the football ones, NFL 1, because, I mean, NFL head coaches show up at the office at 4 a.m. and leave at midnight every day.
I mean, college football coaches don't go home. No, great list there. Caveman Rick?
I'm going to start with the kids. High school, first, and then college. They're still working on their game. Not everybody's a true professional. They all got a lot to learn, So I think those two are like the most important as far as coaching goes, especially if they want to make it to the next level. And then starting with the pros, I think the toughest one's probably, I'm probably going to be biased in this out of the four. I'm going to say the NHL. The reason why I'm going to say that, you have changing lines on the fly in the middle of plays. You have to decide when to do that. You have to decide when you might want to shorten your bench and go down to maybe just your top 4 defensemen and maybe sit a couple other guys out. When you want to double shift people, take timeouts. It comes down to home and away to where your bench is at versus where the offensive playing surface is at. You got the longer changes and stuff like that. So I think the coaching and to be on the fly and on the tips of your toes and making those decisions instantaneously. I think that's kind of important, to be able to make those decisions that quick. So I'm going to say NHL, and then after the NHL, I think I'm going to go to probably NFL. NFL coaching's a big deal. But by the time those guys get to the pros, they're already who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they are who they are.
These coaches are basically just refining skills or trying to get, players to maybe do some stuff that they might not have done in high school or in college to try to expand the skill level or maybe their playability on the field and what they can do. Then after that, I'd probably go to baseball, because baseball, again, it's a lot of decisions when you want to pull a pitcher, if you're going to, make lineup changes, things of that nature, stealing bases, when the guy try to bunt, squeeze play, small ball kind of stuff. And then I'll say NBA last, just because NBA, it seems like NBA nowadays, the coaches are just there to manage egos, really just kind of make sure everybody's happy, that the locker room's content. There's not any kind of dissent there in the locker room or anything like that. As far as making plays in mid-game and stuff, and calling plays, I just don't see it, happening. They pull out the whiteboard every now and again, but everybody knows, you get into crunch time, there's 1 or 2 guys on the team that you're going to try to get the ball to and facilitate the ball to take the last shot. So then defenses know they got to clue in on those guys and just try to stop them. So I don't think there's a whole lot of strategy involved with that so much. So because of that, I think NBA's last.
Yeah,
I like it.
The Denver Nuggets are doing a pretty good job without a coach.
Yeah, they have a coach. It's just an interim coach. But yeah, they sometimes look at the Colorado Rockies, right?
They're 0-1 with their new coach.
Yeah, that's true. But they had a lead for a good while last.
So mad at the Rockies. That was.
Go ahead, talk about it. We got time.
That was my best and worst of the weekend. We didn't get to yesterday.
All right, so this is the Colorado Rockies. Wait till the end. There we go.
The Colorado Rockies fit both. Worst of the weekend, they got beat 21-0 on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Football, baby.
Even worse than that, they kept their manager for Sunday's game. So then the Rockies turn around and win on Sunday. Good job. Best of the weekend. They won a game after getting demolished 21-0 the day before. So then the owners decide that after the Rockies won their 7th game on Sunday to go ahead and fire Bud Black, the manager, after a win when the day before they got beat 21-0. If I'm going to fire a coach, and it's in my mind to fire a coach, it's when I'm getting drubbed 21-0.
And it's funny, too, that we've already lost 2 coaches this year, right? You lost Pirates Bud Black, coach. Derek Shelton. And it's when you think Colorado Rockies and you think Pirates, I don't think any of us, I don't think anyone in the world of baseball that was not either a Rockies fan or within that organization, a Pirates fan, Paul Skeens, Livy Dunn, or within that organization that thought that these teams were going to be, maybe the Pirates. Maybe
I can see the Pirates.
You're right.
They have a lot of good young talent, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to waste that talent like Skeens, man. Like, you got a generational arm on the mound, right? You have to do everything you can to try to nurture that arm because you don't want him to end up like what's his face in Washington,
Steven Strasburg.
Strasburg, yes, exactly.
But can I pin this, though? You're firing the manager because y'all aren't putting players to... The manager ain't going out there trying to fix the roster. That's not his job. His job is to manage the roster that you give to him. So... that's his fault because y'all they've got some good talent around, but you should have brought more. If you're the Pirates, they should have done more. They're right there with the Rays, and the Rays do more with very little. But the Marlins, like, you look at all these teams, the Colorado Rockies, not spending no money, not trying to even make themselves better, and then it's a surprise when we're early in the season and your team is garbage. Like, if there was a team who could have thought about, and maybe Derek Shelton was the right move. I don't know about Bud Black. He's been there for a while. But it's the Colorado Rockies, and y'all are playing terrible baseball. If there was a team who could have thought about firing their manager, it would have been the Atlanta Braves. Yeah. Is it time for Snitker to go? And I don't think that is time.
Is that his last season?
Okay,
that's before the season started. I mentioned that.
Right, but what I'm saying is when you start out 0-7 and then you keep on kind of climbing back to close to 500 and then dropping back, there's a reality there that maybe it's time to go from old school to a mixture of old school and new school, which I think the Braves do an okay job at using the analytics and everything. And I like the aspect of Brian Snitker being such an old school manager. But yeah, I don't know. The Bud Black one, it didn't infuriate me like it did you, but it definitely scratched my head because of what are we doing here?
It wasn't the move itself that infuriated me. It was the timing. When you get spanked 21-0 on Saturday and he allow him to coach on Sunday and he comes back and wins the game, which is his job to do, get the players back together and win the game, and then you let him go.
Let me ask you this, because I'm not familiar with their schedule. So was Sunday the end of the series that they were playing against whichever team they were playing?
It was the Padres.
So then that's it. They probably just waited till the series was over, and then you can the guy, and then you start the new series with your interim guy instead of doing it in the middle of a series. I can kind of understand that maybe.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
That's a fair point. If you do it then and then...
But they also played a game yesterday. They didn't have a day off.
I mean, you're splitting hairs there, too. I mean, whether you do it in the middle of a series or not in a series, is it really going to make a difference? Probably not, but maybe there's some rationale in the ownership or general manager's mind of doing it in that sense.
I agree with your logic if the next day was an off day. But they played again yesterday, so there's no difference.
And they got the Rangers, but they were on
the road.
A fresh start.
But they were at the house against the Padres. I think it plays into Rick's theory, though, right? Is like, hey, we're not going to make a move right here at the house, but as soon as this game is over, and I'm sure that Bud Black knew after Saturday, like.
The writing had to probably be on the wall, yeah.
They probably literally wrote that on the wall, like, Bud Black, you're fired, but coach one more game for us, and then goes out on a W right there. This is our Tuesday Takes with Tyler segment. It's pretty much over, but we're gonna
sorry, Tyler.
No, we're good.
We're gonna talk a little college football. Is there anything that you want? Is there something that's jumped out at you this week? Because it's been a slow week. I mean, when Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson are kind of dominating
I'm
your
ready for that whole
headlines.
Thing to be.
I mean, it's almost as big as Daggum, and I'm being facetious here, but, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. It's like, my goodness, what's going on?
I guess there's no Travis Hunter and Deion Sanders to talk about this offseason.
We're not going to talk about that.
I think she's just using this, notoriety just to part. I don't think she's going to be with Bill that long. Like, she's doing this to set herself up, to where she can get to crush the old guy out of her life, and then she can be a success on her own because now she's got followers and she's like an influencer and got more popularity now because she was with a, quote, like a Bill Belichick. You know what I mean?
She's been with him for a couple of years now.
But I guess I'm like, do many
Has
of the
it
people
been a couple years?
I don't think thought that when she was 19 or something like that.
Followers that she would attract, that would let you become an influencer, are those people who know who Bill Belichick is? Like, how many 15-year-old girls are following her because they love Bill Belichick? I don't know. It's just a weird mashup. I don't know. I guess it's working for her. I mean, I can't be mad at her. She's getting whatever.
Well, I mean, before all this started happening, we knew she was his woman, right? It wasn't until all these interviews and her being out in the public eye and on camera. Now it's like blowing up right out of proportion. It's got all this stuff, a lot more attention. Like I think what was it, like Dancing with the Stars? She turned down, I think, just recently, but she wants to go on to some other pseudo reality show or whatever that she's got her eyes on. Like I said, I think she's doing this to just try to better herself and her mind for like down the road.
Well,
her long-term goals, I don't think, are to marry Bill Belichick. Is my point.
Well, I would say that it is.
I don't think it's his long-term goal.
I don't think it's his long-term. I think it's her long-term goal.
I don't think so.
I'm saying for the money, brother. For the money. You don't think so? You don't think money's in it?
If she was looking for somebody just for money, she would do like, what's her face? Anna Nicole. Find some older, crustier guy that's fixing to croak so that, the guy would die sooner than later, and then she could take his money. Belichick's not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think he's croaking in the next handful of years.
Yeah, that's a fair point. He is 73, though.
If
so
you want his money, you're going to have to put up with him and everything else that you're going to have to do for it.
He's
for
not
a
having
while.
a midlife crisis right now.
I will say, maybe this could be indicative of his midlife crisis. I would also, this is another thing that I hate about these kind of relationships is now I'm reading about something on The Athletic as like, this has no business being on The Athletic. It really doesn't. Like, put it on the New York Times or whatever you want to do, but don't put it on the daggum Athletic. Jordan Hudson. This is, let me just read like the first paragraph or so of this. Is Jordan Hudson on her way to becoming the Buffalo Bills of beauty pageants? Perhaps that's too strong, but the 24-year-old girlfriend of the 73-year-old North Carolina football coach Bill Belichick has now logged consecutive close but no cigar finishes on the runway, and she's trending in the wrong direction. 1 year after emerging as first runner-up in the Miss Maine USA pageant, Hudson finished as second runner-up or third place this time around. The finals were held, which none of that matters. Yeah, I'm reading about beauty pageants on The Athletic.
Maybe that is small state beauty pageants. We're being honest.
Shows you how slow the sports news cycle is right now when they're like having to write about junk like that to fill content.
Yeah,
places.
I mean, at least it's not on the headline part of it, But what is on the headline? Bill Belichick saying, "Well, she is allowed." There's what is? Let me read the headline verbatim. Hudson doesn't have anything to do with UNC football, but she does, though, right? Isn't she copied on all your emails and for certain aspects of the program, which those programs are directly tied to what? UNC football. But anyways, it's on to Cincinnati, or as I like to say, on to segment 2 of our number 2. You guys are ready with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to try to get some more words out of Tyler when we do get back. Maybe talk about that college football schedule.
Your attention, please. ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag, stay out of the water, stick your toes in the sand, grab a cold drink, and listen to live sports.
Swung on, miss, strike 3.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Double play!
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For tonight, clear skies and a low of 72 with a light breeze around 7 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest. Tomorrow morning, mostly sunshine with temps around 80. In the afternoon and evening, partly sunny with a moderate breeze and a temperature near 81. Moving into Thursday, the same with a high of 81 and sunny. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Dreaming of sun-drenched beaches and a place to call your own in Northwest Florida? Or perhaps you're looking for the perfect investment opportunity. Since 1962, Anchor Realty Florida has been the trusted name in real estate across the Panhandle. Anchor Realty Florida brings unparalleled local expertise to your search for homes, lots, and investment properties. Don't just dream it, live it. Let Anchor Realty Florida anchor your reality. Visit us online at anchorfl.com. That's anchorfl.com.
For the 2025 Atlanta Braves, it's time to dial in, which means every game means a little more.
First pitch, ground ball right side. Diving stop by Ozzie. Got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies.
Tonight, it's another big National League East battle in Atlanta as Austin Riley and the Braves square up against the Washington Nationals.
Braves coverage begins at 6 after the Afternoon Underdogs. First pitch, 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Monster, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
What are you laughing at, bro?
Bo Nix is just Tim Tebow with better Wi-Fi. Oh, man, that's amazing.
Hey, speaking of, we got a text from Lynn Haven Rob earlier, and we had the question about Bo Jackson. Won the Heisman Trophy, played minor league baseball, and then played pro football. It didn't go in that order necessarily, but Tim Tebow did the same thing, right? Played for the Port St. Lucie Mets, played football for the Denver Broncos and the Jets and the Jaguars, and technically he did do it in that order, right? But he just had a pro football stint before the baseball experience, and then went back to the NFL after that. Maybe one of the wildest runs of all time. Also, I was reading a story. I can't remember where I was reading. I've read so much today. That Urban Meyer almost left Ohio State. They were at this Life Surge event, which I'm not going to explain it the way that where I read it. It was in the Athletic Pulse newsletter written by Chris Branch. I read that thing every morning. Great stuff. It's actually absolutely free too. So if you want to sign up for that newsletter, it's great stuff, and you'll hear a lot of the stuff that we talk about comes from that newsletter. But there was a time when Urban Meyer was still the coach at Ohio State that one of the big attorneys said you can't be they can't be doing like Bible studies and stuff like that. And I guess Urban Meyer said, if we can't do those things, then I'm quitting. Which is, I would have never pegged Urban Meyer for that. You know what I mean?
Because of his background and the stuff he's gotten in trouble for.
Well,
like, really?
Yeah, 100%. But
Seriously?
That's still, I mean, it's still one of those things. Like, and you know my outlook on this probably better than anyone else. That human beings are human beings.
I hear you. It's
right?
very hypocritical.
Yeah, it's
I don't have a problem saying that.
Dude, I guess, but I mean, it also depends. Like, what are we hearing Urban say not to do or any of that? You know what I mean?
Well, they had the signs up there, like, about treating women right and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And look what he was doing. So it's like, okay, you got
some aspects.
You're saying the right stuff in the right moment. You got the signage up, but are you believing and following what you're preaching there, buddy? Probably
His punter
not.
wasn't a female.
That's my problem with that, man.
Hey, well, and you also know this about me. I don't like to point people's shortcomings or any of that out, because I know you look at me and I got plenty of shortcomings for everyone to pick out. And
point mine out, man. I'm just saying, like, if it's true, here's the thing. If it's true about me, I can't argue it. I can do two things. I can either change and not do that if I don't like it,
or embody it to the fullest.
You know what I'm saying? Seriously. So it's like, like if you steal and somebody's calling you a thief, you don't like it, don't steal. Then nobody will call you a thief. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty simple. It's cut and dry.
Life lessons from the cave with Caveman Rick. All right, Chef Ross, yesterday you sent me a story on Facebook Messenger from Awful Announcing. Bring the story up to us, and then let's kind of throw it around the round table.
I was watching Around the Horn yesterday, and it caught my eye about Bill Belichick not coaching. So I did some research and found out that Pablo Torres, former ESPN analyst, is really hard set on believing that Bill Belichick will never coach a game for the University of North Carolina Tar Heels.
All right, so let's start here with Tyler, because Tyler's got some takes on this. In fact, the day that this news broke that Bill Belichick was going to North Carolina, I want to say that was on a Tuesday or it happened late Monday, but we were talking about it very swiftly afterwards. And one of the first things you brought up was
the buyout drops to $1 million June 1st.
Which doesn't, you haven't even coached a game.
Yeah, it's just, and part of it, he only signed a 3-year contract, which is almost unheard of in college sports because of the recruiting aspect.
Right.
I think this was a joke. Like, I think this was leverage for the NFL that went too far. And now he's like, oh, well, crap, I guess I'm the head coach at North Carolina. And I mean, it is cool that his dad did coach there and he did have those ties.
There's legacy.
And so maybe it was one of those, he was okay going there. If he was using it as leverage, but he was okay letting it get this far because of his ties to North Carolina. But like, nothing about this has ever made sense. The contract doesn't make sense in any way. The timing of it, everything about it just seems so weird. And now you have somebody like this come out and saying they don't, and that's not the first time I've heard that.
No.
And I mean, I don't know if it's just echo chamber or whatever, but it's like, and we were talking about this in the break, like, we didn't see him get a wave of like borderline draft eligible guys that wanted to go play for Bill Belichick for a year to kind of prove themselves. North Carolina isn't a bad place to spend a year. Chapel Hill is a very beautiful town from what I heard.
I'm sorry, but what you said is facts, but it's like when we've talked college football in the past, it's not a bad place to spend 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
now
I thought more of a draft eligible guy.
100%. Well, no, 100% though, and that's across the board from high school recruiting all the way through.
It's year to year.
Come on,
Is it
man.
year to year? Is it really semester to semester?
It's basically semester to semester at this point.
It's day to day, bro. Because I mean, semester to semester. Shoot, by the time that they're getting close, hey, you could have a team in the college football playoff, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, well, doesn't look like my playing time is looking too good for next year. I don't know if I have enough in me to go through spring practice and try to earn a spot. So I'm headed to Bowling Green, boss.
I don't know if I want to get this ring that we're about to win. So let me get out of the team.
Like, come on, bro. How many people can say that they've won a national championship in college football? How many teams can say, only Ohio State, that's won the inaugural college football playoff with 12 teams and then, or 4 teams back in the day, which it wasn't as rampant back then. It wasn't rampant at all.
It wasn't
in 2014 when they won the inaugural 4-team college football playoff. But yeah, that's a great point, Chef Ross. My gosh, and that's boiling my blood a little bit right now. No, seriously, like, you have an opportunity to get a college football ring. A championship ring. You can go to the NFL all you want, but you can't come back here. You can't come back to college football and win. You can't do that. So settle down, simmer down, pimpin'. Let the coach handle it and just stay on the daggum team. That's
it's not
enough.
only it's not only football. It's the basketball portal.
It's everything. It's all college sports. The daggum swimmers are moving from left to right. All the.
But let me ask you something, Tyler. Wasn't North Carolina the first college team to bring in a GM with Belichick? Like
no, because
he brought in Mayock, didn't he?
Yeah, so they've already.
Weren't they the first ones to do that?
No, because you got I'm trying Courtney
over at Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama. Andrew Luck's over there at Stanford. That might have been after.
Yeah.
That might have been after, but way more notable than what Mayock is. And then you've got the GM right now is. I asked this question yesterday to Steve Barnes. The GM might be the most sought after position
in the university.
Yeah. Well, not in the university, but
University athletic department.
Yeah. Bill Belichick bringing in Mike Mayock like that, or no, it was Lombardi, right?
Oh yeah, it was Lombardi.
Yeah, Lombardi. Okay.
That's a legit.
Mayock was with the Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah, was he the dude with the weird haircut, or was that Davis's son?
I don't know. No, that's That's Mark Davis. He's got that horrible Lloyd Christmas haircut.
And he's got him a little snow buddy, huh?
It doesn't hurt when you're a billionaire and you own a football franchise.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, he's like a legit NFL GM, so that is a little bit different than some of these other guys.
Yeah,
Courtney Richardson, maybe, I don't know, something like that. And then it was really interesting. Oklahoma this summer brought in Jim Nagy, who has run the Senior Bowl for however long, as their GM.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing.
Wait, who brought him in?
Oklahoma.
Oh, that is a good one, which is interesting because I feel like he's got ties with Oliver Luck, Andrew's dad.
Yeah, and so I'm interested.
Courtney Morgan, by the way, Courtney Morgan.
Where
those 2 girl names.
where the Senior Bowl goes now that I don't think he can really be as involved now that he's tied directly to the university. But the GM thing is interesting because I don't know how much it really helps. I mean, I know there's the financial side of it, but at the end of the day, the head coach is going to decide how much money they want to kind of distribute to the top 15% of their roster. I don't know exactly how every team does it, but how your top out of an 80. Well, now they're up to 105-man rosters. So I mean, obviously the 105th guy and the first best player are not going to be getting the same amount. How do you divvy up? I mean, maybe you will see guys that go kind of the NFL GM salary cap role where we see, it's the team like the Bengals that have 3 highly paid guys and T and Jamar and Burrow, and everybody else is kind of
Has
suffering.
that bill in Congress moved at all that's supposed to pass donating or specifying, was it $400 million for each athletic department?
So it's supposed to be a 20.4 whatever it is $1 million revenue sharing, up to like 15.5 can go to the football team.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, yeah, there is some movement on it, but I think the thing is, the first time somebody fights it, is the NCAA going to have any teeth to argue against it? I don't know. And until the NCAA wins a court case for the first time since the SMU, I don't even know if that went to court, but, like, I mean, what have they really done since they took away Reggie Bush's Heisman to anybody? They didn't do anything to Cam Newton 15 years ago.
No.
They didn't do it. I mean, what have they really
put a couple of teams on
I mean, what
probation.
did they do to Michigan? Well, I mean, probation. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah,
they
suspended.
They suspended
almost.
Moore for
Well, they haven't really. There hasn't been anything
allegedly.
come from that because they haven't done anything. That was Michigan's offer to the NCAA.
The NCAA suspended Jameis for a game and he dressed anyway.
Yeah, I was at that game. I was at that game.
So it's like, I don't know if the NCAA has authority. Like, so I mean,
they didn't take my uniform away, so I thought I could put it on.
The coach said, "What are you doing?" Jimbo was like, "What are you doing out here, bro?"
I would.
There's none better in sports than Jameis Winston, man.
No, he's a character, but yeah, I still believe we still need a Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, Hard Knocks. That's what the fans deserve.
But were the Giants on Hard Knocks last year though? Because
No, they were on the preseason Hard Knocks.
Okay. So,
either way, that's a Hard Knocks the fans deserve. There.
Yeah, no doubt. Who would y'all like to see on preseason Hard Knocks?
Well, there's nobody now because all the preseason stuff is over with. It was all the pre-draft stuff that got the Giants GM in trouble. When they looked at
I see what you're saying. I'm like the preseason.
All the stuff that us fans cared about.
Yeah. So they were looking for a college program
and
to
that was going to be
replace
North
that.
Carolina, but Belichick.
Yeah, Belichick was like, no, y'all are crazy. I didn't even want that to happen in the NFL. You think I want to do that with 100+ kids and Jordan Hudson? Oh my goodness, absolutely.
They should make it mandatory for whichever team gets the worst record. That way, I
agree.
Avoid tanking because no team wants to be on there, right? So it's a motivating factor to not finish last.
You get the number 1 overall picks, like the natural buzz is there.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
And I would have loved to see one on the Tennessee Titans. Kyle Wright just texted me. He said Cleveland, the Browns. I was literally about to say the Cleveland Browns. Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders, which, by the way, has Shadur Sanders been saying the right things lately on the microphone?
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah,
he even said the right things publicly before the draft.
Yes.
It was a private meeting.
It was the private meeting.
I mean, there's even some of the things where again, it's hard to knock you out for being confident. Yeah. But then there is, it is a job interview. Yeah. And I think, there was some stuff he said going into the draft that, I rub people the wrong way, for better or for worse. And, obviously, I'm not saying that's why he fell. I think if he was as talented as some believed, he would have still gotten taken, whatever. But I think he definitely at least learned a little bit of a lesson, or at least got a little bit humbled, and we'll see how that works out for him.
Well, I think that this is best case scenario for him now, because that happened. Now he's got the chip on his shoulder now, and he's already had a relationship with Tom Brady. But like Tom Brady said, I think he was on Impulsive with Logan Paul. Who knows that situation better than I do? Tom Brady, about slipping in the draft and then coming out and working your tail off. Dylan Gabriel hasn't looked that great in mini camp to this point, or rookie camp. I haven't seen a ton of video on Shadur either. I just know in his press conferences, when they're asking him questions, he's answering those things the right way. So, hey, I root for everyone. Unless you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Houston Texans, which I kind of I don't root for them, but I love D'Amico Ryans, Yeah. And then who else do I dislike in that Jacksonville the Colts. I can't even think of them.
Yeah, it was a Dylan Gabriel press conference where the reporter mouthed that I'm taller than him.
Yeah. That's an absolute fact right there. All right, so we'll dive into the college football schedule, and then we've got one more game for you guys today, also local. We'll go over the games, the huge softball games that are going on tonight. Then we'll go into some hot takes, and we're going to do it in a style of caffeination. The scale will be from decaf to Red Bull. We've got decaf, which is mild or reasonable. You know what? Let's take a break, and we'll talk about this when we get back. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. Keep it locked in. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
I've always railed against Draymond Green. You can't let your emotions get the best of you where you're a detriment. Never understood that. Even coaches. And they're always the ones yelling at you to keep your composure. I had a coach who would yell at me, and then he'd get a technical, and I just wanted to say, how about you, coach?
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Northwest Florida Wrestling presents live professional wrestling at the Possum Palace. Saturday, June 7th in Wausau. Exciting men's and women's wrestling with a huge 20-man Royal Rumble. Doors open at 4. Matches start at 5 at the Possum Palace. Front row tickets $15. General admission $12. Kids 5 and under free. All proceeds go to medical expenses for Chase Henson. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the
At Broad Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. The next evolution in sports talk radio. It's the Afternoon Underdogs.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Make it so. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Final segment of the afternoon here on the Afternoon Underdogs. You've been listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 and Port St. Joe. David Hayes here along with Tyler Bishop, Chef Ross Robinson, and Caveman Rick. And this is Braves Country tonight at 6 o'clock. The Braves will be taking on the Nationals. First pitch at 6:15. The Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida is brought to you by Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. You guys can go to cbcconstruction.com if you're looking for a job. They're looking for a few good men. Also, you can call them at 850-747-3815. I just really want to do this trivia question. Do it. So bad. So if we can get one in quickly here, 850-215-6290, what pitcher? And if you are a baseball fan, you should at least have seen this Sunday if you have social media. If not, no worries. But what pitcher threw a perfect game on Mother's Day after his mother had passed away from melanoma cancer? What pitcher threw a perfect game on Mother's Day after his mother passed away from melanoma? 850-215-6290. I like how I've stopped putting the answer on the page. So then it kind of gets us here in the booth talking about it a little bit. And also it prevents me from just reading off the answer as I've done in the past. 850-215-6290, looking for the pitcher. What pitcher threw a perfect game on Mother's Day after his mother passed away from melanoma? The 4th annual Pop's Pig and Barbecue. All proceeds go to benefit hurricane relief. Dinner tickets are just $20. There's going to be pulled pork, mac and cheese. There's going to be baked beans, coleslaw, Texas toast, all the fixings. It's going to be a great time. There's going to be dinner tickets are $20. Pool tournament starts at 1 p.m. and that will be $15. That's how much the Blues fees is what we're going to be calling them. The Blues fees, $15. Because the felt at the break room is blue. This is all in honor of Ron Pops Robinson. It'll be Saturday, June 14th from 12 to 6 p.m. at the break room, 2727 Joan Avenue. All right. Let's see. Coach Patton. I hate reading this off, which he's got himself a great family on the way. He's one of my buddies, Austin and Justin Hancock. He's actually dating their mom, Dawn, which is pretty cool stuff there. But head coach Jeff Patton announced his retirement. Final season, they went 26-8. They reached the Class 2A region finals. They had a major upset in the semifinal round against Bishop Snyder. Since 2006, He's had a record of 412 and 134, which is absolutely astonishing. He had 18 consecutive appearances in the playoffs, 11 district championships, went to the Final Four 6 times, and was runner-up 2 times. Over the last 10 years, Bozeman only had 2 seasons where they did not get to the number of 20 wins, and one of those was canceled due to COVID. So congratulations there to Coach Patton on all of your future endeavors as well. And then tonight, Arnold softball, 18-8, hosting Baker County. First pitch at 6 p.m. Baker County's got a nice record at 20-4. And then a little in-county battle between Bozeman, who's 14-10. North Bay Haven is 22-3. First pitch tonight, 7 p.m. at North Bay Haven. We'll get to those scores tomorrow afternoon. All right, our final, I guess, segment of the day, but we've been playing some games. It's been a lot of fun. Sports Jeopardy, we're going to have to run that one back here, maybe make that a Tuesday thing just from 4:20 till 5 o'clock, and maybe bring in some stuff that's not sports as well to give me a shot here. Actually, that would ruin my chances. All right, so hot takes on a scale of decaf to Red Bull. Decaf means that you think that this take is mild or reasonable. Iced coffee is the next step up. It's hot, but it's not outlandish. Double espresso is spicy. It's irrational, but still plausible. Maybe use the word plausible there. Monster energy drink, is outrageous. And then Red Bull, unhinged. Unhinged, which is the highest that you can go here on the scale of caffeination. All right, so we'll start off with the one that you read. In the previous segment, Bo Nix is just Tim Tebow with better Wi-Fi. How hot is that take?
Man, that's I don't know what it was about that. It caught me off guard. It was hilarious. I think it's kind of somewhere. I'm gonna go. I think he's in a better situation, but I'm gonna go double espresso. I think it's irrational, but it's not entirely impossible either. Like, I mean, he had a good rookie year. But that's kind of what you should expect from a quarterback that started 65 or whatever it was collegiate games. Like, if anybody was going to be ready for that transition, you would hope it'd be a quarterback that started as many games as Bo Nix did. We'll see if Dylan Gabriel set up similarly.
Or Tyler Shue.
Or Tyler. Shug. But the problem with Shug is he's old, but he didn't play nearly as many games. He bounced around a lot.
Yeah, and he had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, that too.
A lot of injuries.
That's the problem is he's old, but he's also inexperienced. So what do you do with that guy? But so I'm going to put it, like, I think it's spicy, but maybe last year was the peak of Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great rookie season, but maybe he's a lot closer to, like, kind of what we've seen from older prospects before. So I'm going to say spicy, but irrational, but possible.
I have the same answer. So if we have the same answer, if you have a different answer. If not, we'll go with a different one, and I'll call on someone new each time.
I'm going iced coffee.
Iced coffee, okay. Hot but not outlandish. Explain yourself when you...
I think that he's in a better spot. I think he can do more things than Tebow could because he's gotten the approval of Broncos ownership, unlike Tebow back in the day. So I think they're going to give him a ride and a chance to do better, and he's a little bit more athletic.
I like that.
I'd say it's like borderline. I mean, it's up there. It's Monster or Red Bull, man, because it's like, I mean, like, he's a way better quarterback than Tim Tebow. I mean, he's got a better arm. He got better pocket presence. Like, we've seen a lot more out of him already in his first season. So, like, yeah, I think he's way better than Tim Tebow, man. And when he's coming out into the draft, people weren't talking about this guy playing tight end or some other position. They were still keeping him at a quarterback. So, come on, man.
Come on, man.
No, you know what? This is cocaine. This isn't even like on the list, man. It's off the list.
Elevated.
Man, we broke the scale of first question.
Caffeine. It has hit illegal drug status, ladies and gentlemen. There is no cocaine in this building, law enforcement.
Bo Nix is a legitimate, real quarterback. Tim Tebow was clown shoes.
Wow.
At quarterback.
I'm still sticking at double espresso. Just because I don't think Tim Tebow got the fair shot that he deserved. I know that we all have differing opinions on that. I just don't feel like he got the fairest of shots. I will say that you're 100% correct. Bo Nix, as it stands right now, better quarterback. In college, give me Tim Tebow all day.
What was his NFL record? Like 4-2?
But then again, put Bo Nix on the same team for like 5 years. Though.
The Broncos were terrible under,
or at least 3 years.
One at a time, fellas.
The Broncos are terrible under. I want to say it was Grossman as their quarterback. No, it was the other guy from the Bears.
Rex Grossman?
No.
What do you, Chris Leak?
No. Quarterback for the Bears played at Purdue.
Oh, Orton?
Yeah.
Kyle Orton. He was 8-6 in the NFL, by the way. Tim Tebow, hey.
And then
he won a playoff game.
3 years.
And he won a playoff game like on a whimsical type play that should have probably never happened.
To Demaryius Thomas. Yeah. I might have been, what year was that he did that? I might have been in Colorado when that happened.
It's been like 2010-ish, 2011?
Yeah.
12.
It was early on. It was either 2011 or 2012, and I might have been in Colorado for that particular game. Not that I was at the game or anything. I was just visiting my uncle, which was pretty cool, man. Colorado is such a beautiful state, no doubt about that.
Except for the baseball team.
Well, I'm just saying the state. I'm talking about, and you know what? Do you know what the speed limit is over there in Colorado on their interstates?
85 or 95.
It's like 80. Yeah. It's great because the roads are so much more curvy and mountainous. You know, it's like so we could drive 80 like this over here, but old Flatland, Florida, we got to go 70. Come on now, tighten up, Law, tighten up. Derrick Henry could beat the Falcons alone. Just give him 75 carries. Let's start with Caveman Rick.
I would say that is, again, that's kind of like double espresso. They got a better defense now. They got their defense kind of better. And I don't care who you are, you're going against NFL defenses. You give it to them that many times in a row. After 30 carries in a row, dude, he's going to be gassed. And you know what I'm saying? So, no.
I'll go Red Bull on that because this is Derrick Henry by himself. No offensive line. No one handing him the ball. It's just set hike. We used to call that a certain type of game back in the day. I was smear your peer.
I was thinking they were just handing him the ball off.
Yeah,
the offensive line.
Yeah, no. I get that's but reading it, that you kind of like what was the question that we had the technicality on, or the Final Jeopardy question with So with that, I got to go unhinged Red Bull level of caffeine there. I mean, I almost went right up there to cocaine with you.
I mean, if we're talking caveman where there's 10 other players on the field and you're just handing to him 75, and we're talking a Madden setting where he'll refresh every other. Like, I think it's decent, but like if we're talking legitimately, then it's got to be. It's up there. It's unhinged probably.
Chef, same.
Unhinged.
Unhinged. All right.
If he can beat the Falcons by himself, he can beat up the gorilla by himself too.
Oh, there you go. Hey, I mean, we I'm still looking for 100 people to get together and see how they fare against the gorilla.
100 people at once attacking the gorilla?
Well, it's gotta be. Otherwise, what in the world are we talking about here?
Or you line them up one at a time.
One at a time? No, because human beings can do that. There's men who could run through 100 other men like in a ring setting.
Well, the time Miles thought the four of us could take down Shannon Sharp.
Miles thought a lot of he thought a lot of great
100
things.
men or one silverback gorilla.
Yeah.
Man, I miss good old Miles. Let's go with if Nick Saban unretires, he immediately wins a natty with UMass. I'll start this one again. Red Bull, unhinged. It's UMass. Wait, what national title are we talking about? Like a recognition for having a winning season? I don't. Are we claiming UCF one like UCF? No, I don't think that you can turn a program around and win a national championship with UMass.
I would say that take is...
He didn't even do that with Bama. Yeah. There's the cocaine right there. That's the cocaine.
That. This one right here, this take's got Down syndrome. Or something like that, dude. Like, this is totally, doesn't even belong.
We're using energy, bro. Energy. You could have said anything else.
I know I
that
could've.
right there.
Jet fuel.
You could have gone, jet fuel.
I can't come up. I had to come up with something totally ridiculous because that take is just that's
like Down syndrome.
That's not even
not ridiculous.
That's not even a responsible take for somebody to say that somebody's going to come back, coach UMass, and win a championship. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh wow.
Sorry, but yeah.
How about them Cubs?
How about them Cowboys? You're looking forward for the Eagles and Dallas to start the season?
Man, why not, man? Rub it in their face right there week 1, dude. And just spoil their season right there, man. First couple seconds of the new calendar year, put a bad taste in their mouth and just show them what's going to happen to them the rest of the season.
850-215-6290.
Even if we may lose the game, but there's 16 more, and it ain't gonna matter. But I think we still got them.
All right, let's. We got 2 minutes here. Paul texted in. He says, "You guys understand that the NFL is way more different than the NFL now. Tebow would be better. Also, Tebow didn't have a coach like Sean Payton. I don't think Tebow would do. I don't know. Maybe because that's actually very similar to what they ran when he was over there at Florida. So there is that.
When he didn't even want to
I feel like Tim Tebow was coachable. He wasn't changeable, meaning he didn't want to change positions.
That's still coachable. That's still having to adapt. That's still having, you know what I mean? I'm just saying,
he was
like,
a very coachable,
very stubborn, and not really wanting.
So Lamar Jackson was stubborn, and that worked out for him.
He's a real quarterback.
Oh my gosh! They wanted to make him a wide receiver. Yeah. Anyway, but I will say this. I mean, yes, the NFL is different, but Tim Tebow, in my opinion, and I'm a guy who wanted to see Tim Tebow succeed and thought that he deserved a longer leash. I really, truly believe that. But I think he fits better into the NFL where it was more of a run-first type NFL. Now, I think where Paul's coming from is mobility of the quarterback, which is a great take as well. So, obviously, we don't know the answers to these, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think like in today's NFL you want Tebow throwing like 50 passes a game. Like you have to do sometimes.
And you have to do that these days. There's not I mean, Lamar Jackson, how much better has he gotten year by year throwing the football? So that's
in all honesty, how many starting quarterbacks in the NFL do you want throwing 50 passes a game? I can think of like 4.
That you want to?
Yeah, I think if
Justin Herbert gets out there and does it every time.
If you're a head coach and you're responsible and you're smart, you don't want to throw the ball 50 times. You're throwing the ball 50 times because you have to, because you're playing from behind or something like that. No coach goes out to any game and decides, hey, you know what? We want to throw the ball 50 times and we're going to run it 5 times.
I feel like the Tennessee Titans should have listened to that.
And if you are, like, I don't think you're going to be head coaching very long in the NFL.
There you go. And we're actually going to have Paul Wilson. He'll be on the Inside Drive. That's who came up with that text. He'll be on the Inside Drive with James and myself on Thursday. So maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that. But that is going to do it for us this afternoon. For Caveman Rick, for Chef Ross, for Tyler Bishop, I'm David Hayes. It's been an absolute fun afternoon with you guys. We were kind of all over the map this afternoon. Your Atlanta Braves are going to be coming up here at 6 o'clock right after us. First pitch tonight, 6:15. Let's go Spencer Schwellenbach. Just remember the most important thing, the only thing that I've said this afternoon that matters, Jesus loves you, and so do I. Y'all have a great day. Be safe.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd.